Like, I know you're doing plenty. I don't mean it like that. But now that you have this extra time, right?
Yes.
What's going to be your mission and strategy to, get the word out there? What does the next few years look like for you? What are you going to be doing?
So my goal for Partners in Care is to have us in every county throughout the state of Maryland, and then in every state throughout the nation.
Okay.
Partners in Care's model and mission is what's needed.
So if someone wants to get involved, whether it's volunteering for the boutique or make a donation or even, obtain services, or even make a donation, a monetary donation.
Yeah.
How can one
They can do that through partnersincare.org.
Okay.
Good.
And then
Our website that you helped to design.
Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of The Diligent Leader. I'm one of your hosts, Alex Ficcari, and I have with me
Kaylee Jakovics.
And we're really excited today because we're bringing you Mandy Arnold. She is the CEO of Partners in Care, which is a great local organization. So thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we love, the whole idea of the Diligent Leaders to talk about, where people are from, their origins, kind of understand what leadership looks like from different vantage points. And so would you help the audience know a little bit more about Partners in Care and you specifically? Let's start with you, and then we can go into Partners in Care,
So me, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. It's just the average.
I believe that.
Just the average leader. Was very grateful to find Partners in Care. Partners in Care is your local nonprofit. We are headquarters in Anne Arundel County. We are a local nonprofit that supports the independence of seniors.
Okay.
We allow seniors to age in place with dignity and respect.
Love it.
Through a unique model and culture of service exchange and time banking.
Okay, excellent. So what drew you into Partners in Care? Like, how did it all start for you?
I've always, from a little girl up, when I was in nursing, always wanted to take care of the elderly.
Okay, excellent.
And
Love that.
yeah, so I stopped working when my son went into the military, when he went into boot camp.
Thank you for his service.
Yes, thank you. And had a cervical fusion done.
Okay.
And then decided where were they going to station him?
Right.
He's my only child, so if they were going to station him in California, I was going to California, right? So I stopped working, had a fusion done. They actually stationed him in North Carolina, so I was good.
Yeah.
And then when I decided I wanted to go back to work, I just wanted to do something that made a difference.
Yeah.
So I met with a local board member of Partners in Care. And she introduced me to Partners in Care and said that the current founder and CEO was retiring and looking to replace herself.
Okay.
So
Now,
that's how it came about.
how long ago was that?
In 2015.
2015. Okay, so it's coming up on 10 years for you.
Yeah.
Right?
So I shadowed Barbara, was one of the founders and CEO. I shadowed her for a year. It was something that I wanted to make sure that I could be successful at.
Yeah.
My familiarity with nonprofit worlds was hospitals and colleges, which is not reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure 3 women founded this organization. They had kept it running. I wanted to make sure that I could do the same. So I did. I shadowed her for a year before I took over in 2016.
Okay.
I took
excellent.
over as the president and CEO.
That's fantastic.
As the CEO, what does the typical, day-to-day look like for you running this organization?
Well, normally it was in the weeds.
Yeah.
Just in and out. You're doing everything
Typical leader.
Yeah. And it's a small organization. We don't have many staff, and we are, like I said, we're in 6 counties.
Okay.
We have 2 boutiques, and we have mobility buses. So it's quite it's small, but it's not small. And so our organization, it required me to be involved in the day-to-day.
Yeah.
Until recently, I was able to hire our first COO for the
very
organization.
nice.
Very cool.
Yes.
Congrats.
How was that transition for you from a leadership standpoint? Like, did you take to a duck to water kind of thing, or was it an adjustment for you?
It was an adjustment.
Yeah.
It still is an adjustment because she's still learning.
Yeah.
So it's just, it took me a while. Like I said, when
Right.
I shadowed Barbara, to go from corporate world to a nonprofit. It's
Sure.
really different.
Yeah.
Things aren't really fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
They move, it's slow, and and I wanted everything done yesterday, and it was just not going to happen. So,
Yeah, that's a real concern, and I'm excited about this interview as we're talking about this here because a lot of people think, anybody who's watching and thinking about this is oh, diligent leader, I must be a CEO to do something, right? But realistically here, leadership is serving, right?
Yes.
And from your side of this, I think it's fantastic because you went from coming on, adopting a whole new mentality of an industry.
yes.
And on top of it, a new organization, learning from somebody who set the precedent, which is probably pretty high.
Yeah.
And now here, 9 years later, you're handing over some of the reins, at least one of the reins,
Yeah.
over to somebody else. I mean,
Exactly.
talk about a leadership. We'll call it opportunity, right?
Right.
To be,
Yes.
positive about it.
Yeah. It is. It's a positive thing for the organization.
Yeah.
It's a positive thing for myself, so it allows me then to get back out in the community and do what I'm best doing.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah.
And so, go ahead, Kaylee. I don't know.
Oh
if you
yeah,
wanna-
I was just gonna say. I guess the shift. You talked a little bit about the shift from corporate to nonprofit, and I'm assuming. I mean, you're very passionate about what you do, and
Yeah.
I see that. Not just you involved at Partners in Care, but also at different organizations that we're a part of for networking and getting, the word out there, right?
Yes.
But I guess how has that shift? I mean, do you love the nonprofit world? Obviously, you're still doing what you're doing years later.
Yes.
So I just kind of understand like the difference there and kind of maybe the pros and cons, or just pros for the nonprofit world.
So it is. I love it. To answer one of your questions, it is different. It's not, like I said, it's not fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're looking for return on investments,
Right.
and you're making sure that everything is, meeting your goals. Though we have goals and objectives that we meet with our strategic plan, it's on a different scale.
Right.
Yeah.
It's more laid back. It's more service oriented versus revenue, if you will.
Sure.
Though you need revenue.
Right.
Yeah.
And in our world, like I said, we allow seniors to age in place.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to find funding for seniors.
Right.
So it's a big task. So it's not, what's the difference with corporate versus our type of nonprofit.
Right.
You're constantly having to be out there looking for funds, raising funds to keep everything going and to keep your doors open.
Yeah. And so how are you measuring success, like as the CEO, as the leader? Is it
I measure it based on the fact that we're still around.
okay?
And we're growing.
All right. Perfect.
It was,
That's a good KPI.
Yeah, it was different when I first started. I actually had to take a line of credit to make my first payroll.
Sure.
And now we're doing, we're stable.
Good.
We've been around. We're stable. We're out there. We just got a big grant that we're getting from an earmark fund from Senator
Oh, excellent.
Cardin.
Oh, yes.
And so
does a lot of work, yeah.
He does. He's very supportive of nonprofit organizations. So we're going to be able to do a big outreach campaign.
That's
Very
great.
exciting.
Yeah. I know him from another. I'm on a board for the National Veterans for Procurement, and so he also helped them as well. So
Yes.
that's fantastic.
He's fantastic. Yeah.
So question for you. So you talked about from the corporate world to now here and getting the funds, and I think what was when you talk about you personally as a leader, like what do you think was your biggest hurdle you had to overcome making that transition and to keep yourself motivated?
Well, to keep me motivated was just the organization in itself.
Okay,
And
the
what we
cause.
do. The cause,
Yeah,
the
okay.
mission, and what we do. Like I said, seniors, difficult. It's a constant search and research. Now in the medical field, they're looking more towards keeping people in their home versus in a hospital or in nursing
Makes so much
homes.
sense, yeah.
So it was more. I just love what I do.
Yeah.
I love the organization. I love taking care of the individuals that have paved the way for you and I to be here today.
Absolutely.
So it's a passion. It's rewarding. The organization is run by volunteers. So 90% of the work that's done is done through volunteers.
Wow.
Our transportation department is one of our biggest departments and our biggest programs. We take people to the doctor, but not just to the doctor. We allow them to stop at a grocery store, stop at the
Wow.
pharmacy on the
Yeah.
way home. We're arm in arm, door through door. The volunteer waits with them. It's not like
Wow.
they're not
fantastic.
leaving them and
Huge.
dropping them off and then
Yeah.
coming back to pick them up. They're there with them. It's just an amazing organization. And what we do and the difference that we make every day,
Yeah.
it just keeps me motivated to want to do more.
Yeah.
People are living longer, so the aging population is growing rapidly.
Yep.
So the need is just growing every day. It's just more and more need.
And how many members do you currently have? right
Currently,
now?
we have close to 2,700 members.
2,700. And
Wow.
with you say that growth, I mean, how much do you see your numbers growing in the next 5-10 years? Is it a 10% increase, 20% increase?
Probably at least 10 to 15% increase.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And,
Yeah.
and have to mention, and what I think is great about the organization, because our organizations work together is Mojo, right? And
Yes.
Partners in Care. But what I was always reminded, because I look at people, you really have to look at the elderly population and really have a fresh perspective on what they brought, because I always think of my grandfather as you internalize and you think about these things for yourself.
Right.
For me, my grandfather was on the beaches of Normandy, right? He ran 3 bakeries. He, raised a family of 5. He did all these things quite successfully, right? And there came a time when he couldn't just, okay, Grandpa, you can't drive your car anymore because you backed over a sign again,
Right.
But
Right.
but the value, the wisdom and experience is you just can't. I inherently we are self-centered people because we
Right.
worry about us. But if you really think about it, if we can force ourselves to really put this in perspective, that the elderly have done so much for us, and they're just aged to perfection, man.
Yes.
And I think that's what I love about your cause, and it kind of gets me excited to hear. Not that I didn't think you're passionate about it,
Yeah.
but but to hear it from you, it's just reaffirming.
Yeah.
So I think that's great.
And the volunteers they build community.
Yeah.
So not only are we serving one of the most vulnerable populations, we build community.
Yeah.
They build relationships.
Yeah.
It's not, our organization background checks everybody. So it's not just the volunteer, it's the members as well.
Yeah.
So we make sure that everybody's safe, the one, delivering the service as well as the ones receiving the service.
Yeah.
But our time banking and service exchange model is what allows members to keep their dignity and respect. Older population, they don't like to ask for handouts.
Yeah.
They want to do for themselves. They want to be independent.
Sure.
And that's what's so unique and so amazing about this model is the one person may drive,
Yeah.
but then the person receiving the ride, what do? They may make friendly phone calls. They might write the birthday cards for the month.
Nice.
Worst case scenario, they donate something to our boutique, and that's their give back.
Right.
So when they call to ask for services, they don't feel like they're asking for a handout because
Yeah.
they do their part.
They do their part. And
So everyone that's receiving is also giving, right?
Correct.
I love that model. That
It's
is
the neighbors
amazing.
helping neighbors. This is what we do for each other. We take care of each other.
Yeah, and what are the parameters, I guess, of, is there a certain age? Is there a vetting process? How do people become members?
Yes. So you can go on our website. There's an opportunity on there to become a member or to both. Everyone's considered a member.
Gotcha.
It's just whether you're a provider or a receiver in different areas.
Gotcha.
Everyone has their own unique gifts and talents. So what they do, they call up They fill out an application. Depending on their situation, if they're volunteering, they come into our organization to do orientation. If they're just needing to receive services and they're going to give back in a way that they don't have to come into the office, then
Sure.
we have volunteers that go out to the home and interview them.
Okay.
And then you need to be 60 years of age or older to receive services, and 18 years of age or older to volunteer.
Very good.
And what you're doing when you're volunteering when you don't need services is you're banking your time for when you do need service.
That's fantastic. And that's your
Wow,
time
okay.
banking.
That's the time banking.
I should start now.
Yes. And you
That's
can,
great.
family members volunteer to bank time for their loved ones.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's hands down, no fluff. That's a fantastic mission. That's a fantastic.
It
thing.
is.
And so how, like, what are you, like, I know you're doing plenty. I don't mean it like
Right.
that. But now that you have this extra time, right?
Yes.
What's going to be your mission and strategy to, get the word out there? What does the next few years look like for you? What are you going to be doing?
So my goal for Partners in Care is to have us in every county throughout the state of Maryland, and then in every state throughout the nation.
Okay.
Partners in Care's model and mission is what's needed. Not only is it, like I said, serving the community, serving an older, vulnerable population,
Right.
we build community. And I don't know about you, but we are lacking community.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
People don't take care of their neighbors and take care of each other like we did back in the day when our seniors were young.
Yeah, and I don't think it's because people are inherently bad. I think we let
Right.
technology, unknowingly, we didn't realize how much technology would factor in how society interacts with one another. And as time always does change, right? Our standards of shaking people's hands and getting up and opening doors, or taking somebody some bread across the street, or like those traditions kind of fade.
Right.
And now, I mean, it's a shame, but the truth is, those are some of the things that are also, I think it is very important to keep those things.
It is. And I mean, our country is in desperate need of community.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think back just on a personal note, like I have a neighbor, used to have a neighbor. She's a fantastic woman. She still lives in that neighborhood, but I'd always go out there, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I wasn't the only one, but I would go out there, and when the snow came, I'd take my snowplow and clear out her driveway, because she was a teacher and she always helped out. And, she literally would bake a thing of bread and bring it over to thank me. And I'm like,
wow.
oh, you don't need to do that. But I'd love it when she
Right.
did that.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
it was always great. Like, I got
It
my free
is.
loaf of
Yeah,
bread.
sweet.
But, but I think that is that sense of community. I think we all want it. I just think we're either intimidated by what we see, what we know, we don't know. And so I think that's a real thing.
And we're all so busy.
Yeah.
Yes, we can only do so much,
Mm-hmm.
in today's world. But I wanted to ask a little bit more about the programs and initiatives you have as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
I know
please.
I'm very passionate, as we have a veteran here, and I work
Yeah.
for a veteran organization, but I've always been passionate about not just elderly, but veterans as well. So with what you guys are doing, it's amazing because, my question is, why aren't we doing more to help the veterans and to help the elderly that have helped build this country, keep us safe, support us, and all that? So what you're doing is great.
Yeah.
So what other, talk about the veteran program. What other programs, initiatives do you have?
Yeah, so we say neighbors helping neighbors. So we came up with a program called Veterans Helping Veterans. So what we try to do is just match a veteran with a veteran.
Okay, great.
To provide services, because they're more apt to open up.
Yes.
To
absolutely.
another veteran. They just feel more comfortable. They feel like they
The
can talk
camaraderie,
to, and
yeah.
the camaraderie. It's really an amazing program. And so we just try, when we're matching our services, we just try to match a veteran with a veteran. And we've had times when a veteran, and unfortunately just recently one of the members passed away, but every Friday, one of the veterans would go over to a veteran's house and they would play Scrabble And they did this for like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Long before when I started, they started
Wow.
this. And
That's sweet.
they met, they just bonded. And every Friday, this is what they did.
That's fantastic.
But the services that we offer, and I'm, as a mother of a Marine, because once a Marine, always a Marine,
yep.
I say that veterans should never be homeless.
No.
We shouldn't have elderly that has to choose between medication and food.
Right.
Yeah.
In this country, that just shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I agree.
A
100%.
veteran shouldn't be homeless. They just shouldn't. We take
Yeah.
care of everyone. We take care of others.
Yeah.
And I agree and I understand that. But we should take care of our own first.
Yeah. I always think that, I always say this, and I'm very passionate about this, and not because I am a veteran, but even objectively looking, that's one of the only populations out there that said, I will volunteer and go do this.
Volunteer.
And I don't know what it's going to happen. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I'm going to go do this. And we shouldn't, you need to make that a priority.
You do.
Right. Our country, everybody needs to kind of make that a priority. Not that they're the only good people in the world, but I'm
Absolutely
simply
not,
saying, but to your point, they shouldn't be homeless. They
No.
shouldn't have to fight to find out how they're going to get a meal.
Right.
I think that's fundamentally all I think is definitely
They fought to protect us and to
Yeah.
allow us to be free.
Yeah.
And it just shouldn't even, it just should be a no-brainer. It
Yeah.
just, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely one of those things.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna not ask any more questions
Yeah.
before I'm gonna get emotional
Yeah,
here
yeah.
because I'm very passionate about it and it's very frustrating. So thank you for being
But
the
it is,
leader
it's
that
a-
you are and doing what you're
Thank
doing
you.
at
And
Partners in
it's
Care.
a cool program.
Yeah.
It is.
That's great.
And what about any upcoming events? I know
Yeah.
you hold some annual events that are coming up.
Yes, on November 2nd, we have our annual bull roast fundraiser. It's a bull and oyster roast. We're holding it at Blues on the Water in
yeah.
Pasadena this year. It's
Very nice.
It's from 6 to 10 p.m. You can go on our website at partnersincare.org and register, purchase tickets.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fun friends, getting
Yeah.
together, having a good time.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy,
Yeah.
it's just a good time.
I wasn't able to make it last year, but I know that I'm planning on being there this
Yeah.
year, so I'm excited. I'm gonna bring Alex too, and
Good.
hopefully a couple others from our team.
Good.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Is there
it's a good
dancing?
time.
Because I feel like
It
there's
is
always
dancing.
At a bull roast,
Oh, okay.
At a bull
Wow.
roast, at the ones that I've been to, there's always dancing. So
It is dancing.
All right, well, I
it's
will
the
be there.
band we have is called the Classic Case.
Okay.
I
Oh.
haven't heard them myself, but everybody says they're fantastic.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they play all around Anne Arundel County,
Okay.
and so
I love that.
yeah, I'm looking
there.
forward to it. Yeah.
I'm signing up.
Yes.
Well, I said if you had karaoke, Kaylee and I would definitely be involved.
Oh, yeah,
As
we're
big
big
karaoke
karaokers.
junkies. That way, but-
Well, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Because then somebody will want me to
Yeah,
sing. and
exactly.
That's just not
That's the way
happening.
it's going to go. No, that's
Yeah.
great. So I kind of go back a little, not go back, but as you progress through, you have all these initiatives going on. Have there been any, like any recommendations you would give to another leader out there, like maybe whether they're looking at running a nonprofit or making an impact to their team to share the same vision as you?
Yeah.
Right? What would you
So,
say?
What I did when I first joined Partners in Care was I wanted to research why do nonprofits fail.
Okay. Love it.
Okay. So what I found out was people go outside of their mission. They try to be everything to everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's something that we pride ourselves on. We stay within our mission. We love everyone, but we stay within our mission.
yeah.
And that's just it's proven now to be successful. We're stable. We're a stable organization. We've been able to expand in 2 other counties since I've taken
Great.
over. So it's just stay what you're passionate about. Stay with what is within your mission. I'm very transparent. I'm an open door policy leader.
Great.
I like to make sure that everyone feels that everyone's respected, everyone feels they're valued.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, I hear what you're saying there loud and clear. I mean, and this is so candid leadership, right? And then and with that is, as you look at, I love how you're saying from driving the whole mission there and making sure people understand its value and staying in your lane, right? Because you can't be Superman to everybody,
Right.
But I think you're right. As I reflect back, whether what we're doing, like sometimes you just saying no is not only just a vital thing, but it keeps the integrity of the organization. Is what I hear you saying.
It's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's often as a leader. I mean, Kaylee has a leadership as we all have leadership positions here,
Right?
And as I think about it, that's usually where I get in trouble. Like, okay, I'll do it because you. It sounds like you're like us. We like serving. So I'll serve you.
You're in that role, and you just want to make a difference, and you want to help.
Yeah.
But you can't help everyone.
Right.
You have to stay in your lane.
I know it's hard not to sometimes.
It is.
But you've proven that you've been more successful focusing
Staying
on the
and
mission.
focusing, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Staying in the lane. And
Yes.
I know you said that you've expanded to 2 new counties, but what was the reach that you had there?
So we're in 6 counties right now. So we're in Anne Arundel, which is our headquarters. We're in Frederick County. We're in Talbot County. We're in Caroline County. We're in Washington County. And now we just got funded. We're in Montgomery County.
Oh, fantastic! Fantastic.
Yes.
That's great.
And I had a meeting last week. They want us to go into Dorchester County.
Oh, really?
Okay,
Wow.
Very nice.
Yeah. So how are you going to handle the distance? Like, how are you going to train and how are you going to do all that?
Yeah. What we do, though, we bring everyone that's hired into the new sites. We
Okay.
bring them to the headquarters in Anne Arundel County because that's our largest site.
Sure.
And that's what we want everybody to eventually become.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
So we bring everybody to Anne Arundel for 2 weeks, do the training, let them see the boutique. We have a boutique in Frederick as well. It's not as large, it's not as successful.
Sure.
But our boutiques, everything in those stores are donated. And then everything that's sold, all of the profits go back to supporting the mission.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
boutique I've been to the boutique.
Yes. It's
nice.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It
Find
is
some good
amazing.
stuff in
You
there.
really do.
So you're like on top of this. I'm gonna dote over you here for a minute, but you're running a very multifaceted business model,
Yes.
like
Yes.
on
Yeah.
top of caring for people, training people, serving multiple organizations.
Yeah.
Serving multiple
Multiple
customers,
sites
right?
and
And multiple
multiple
sites.
customers.
That's
Yeah.
quite the.
And we run a retail business. But it's not considered, it's a upscale resale boutique. It's
Yeah.
considered a social enterprise.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
And we have 2 paid part-time staff and about 78 volunteers that run that boutique a
That
week.
one boutique a week.
A week.
So
Wow.
if someone wants to get involved, whether it's volunteering for the boutique or make a donation or even, obtain services, or even make a donation, a monetary donation.
Yeah.
How can one
They can do that through partnersandcare.org.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
And then
Our website that you helped to design.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. I was just going to say, so go to their website, make sure
Yeah.
you get the information. You have a newsletter, is that
And we'll
correct?
put it down
Yes.
in the
Yes.
comments
Yeah.
below. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have just a couple minutes as we wrap up. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you have any more questions.
I had that
Alex?
question right there. So, when you think about what you're doing and your mission ahead, are you have to stay current with other efforts, right? What's current, what's going to work, what's not. How do you stay current on the innovations and trends to help you get to your goal, right? Like, do you have anything to help you get to that vision of the future you had?
Well, I attend different conferences nationwide.
Okay, great.
To keep up on all of the aging population and what everyone in the country is doing to serve the aging population.
Fantastic.
And just staying with it.
Yeah.
Learning, it's a constant, you're constantly learning new things.
There you
Medicare and Medicaid has just come out with the fact that they're going to pay for social determinants.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
like, our friendly phone calls allow people to age in place, but it helps to prevent social isolation. Our
Okay.
friendly visits helps to prevent social isolation.
Yes.
It's been proven medically for the last probably 100 years
Yeah.
that people that are affiliated and associated with nonprofit organizations or community-based organizations are healthier.
Yeah.
So Medicare and Medicaid just decided, the light bulb went off, that it's not all about writing a prescription,
Yeah.
that it's about the social engagement as well. So
Right.
they're going to start to pay for those things.
yeah.
Well, and COVID
Right.
surely taught them some of that
yeah.
lesson, right?
It did.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of just staying current, is just educating yourself
Yeah.
and just being up on all of what's going on throughout the nation.
So kind of like in closing to that and transitioning back to the Kaylee, what I hear you saying is you can't be a leader isolated in a box, right?
Right.
And so you have to have that continual learning aspect of it to what we do,
Yes.
you know. But I love the fact that you're doing that, and I think that's really important because you have been caught up in, like you said, you've been in the weeds.
Yes.
And now you're taking the opportunity, though, like you have been, but you're going to even more so now that you have a COO in place.
Right.
Kind of expand for
Get
this.
back
It
out in the
create
community.
More opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you'll grow, the organization will grow, everybody's going to grow from it.
Everyone will.
Yeah.
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 Is there any other, takeaways, advice that you want to give to our audience before
Just take care of your seniors.
All
There you
right.
go.
Love your
I love
seniors
it.
and take care of them.
Well,
That's a
thank
good
you so
message.
much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
joining
you
us
so much
today.
for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to thank Mandy Arnold again for joining us today. She is the CEO of Partners in Care. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank
and
you.
thank you for our viewers for watching. I'm your host, Kaylee Jakovics. With me as well as Alexander Fakari. And again, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe.
Thank you.
Take care.